tonight. And speaking of this, the state of New York is already pledging to send Army National Guard members to help. The Red Cross and 8 Days of Hope's Buffalo chapters are planning to send crews down as early as this weekend.
Yes, and stepping in with us now is Nick Bond, CEO with the American Red Cross Western New York region.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Thank you for having me.
We want to talk about what folks can do.
Yeah.
That's what the Red Cross does so well.
Yep.
Your mission is to provide that aid. What is going on right now?
Yeah, so for our Western New York region, our first priority is getting volunteers, having the people to support our efforts in Florida and throughout the East Coast. You know, we're preparing to have multiple shelters open, and that's our first priority. Our volunteers are specifically trained for certain jobs and certain duties. So right now we do have some Western New York friends that are on the ground supporting shelter work, and then we've got another group of people that are ready to ship out in the next couple days to provide mental health care and spiritual care. Yeah. And then once some of the storm recedes and we can start getting into communities, we'll start doing disaster assessment and assessing people's homes and property.
Now, Nick, can you get a little more specific? There's some footage of Ian there. Yeah. Can you get a little more specific and let people know what exactly, when you said, you know, you're the people on the ground, what are you guys doing in these shelters? Just to let people know, so when they donate, they know exactly what their money is going to help.
Yeah, so the first thing that we're doing is we're getting supplies there. We have supplies that were in Florida at the beginning of the week and really going in late last week to provide shelter care for 60,000 people. That's cots, that's blankets, that's food, that's water. We have all those things staged and prepared, you know, for a disaster like this. And we are able to get, I think, north of 80 tractor trailers with the supplies into Florida in a pretty quick period of time. Not to count the hundreds of volunteers that are there as well. Supplies for 60,000 for sheltering, and then staff support and volunteer support to really work with 30,000 people. So it's about people, it's about products, and it's about making sure that we can focus on housing, hunger, and health. Yeah.
Your mobilization efforts is nothing short of miraculous. I have to say that. So thank you so much for what you do. But give people the understanding of why the help, the continued assistance and donations are so important, because with a storm like this, this is not done in 48 hours. No. This is weeks, if not months, if not years. Yeah, so talk about that.
Yeah, we're prepared. We have supplies and people throughout the country spread out to prepare for this. So we have warehouses full of equipment, so that when we know that there is an event like this that's going to take place, we can mobilize and get those things to the places of need.
Yeah, and it's more than Florida. You brought up a really good point. Can you talk about the other places that you all are helping out at this point in time?
Yeah, sure. So we're really focusing on the entire East Coast. You know, we're going to see people in Georgia and Virginia and the Carolinas that are going to need support. But that's also on top of we have volunteers that are supporting still in Alaska and still in Puerto Rico after Fiona. So, you know, we have multiple operations that are going on, and it's really the strength of our volunteers and the strength of our donors that makes that possible. You know, having those supplies and having things ready, that's because of the efforts that our donors did, you know, leading up to this. And now we're going to have a significant push from all of our communities to try to support the financial need that we're gonna have.
And I'm sure folks out there have noticed that we have had at the bottom of your screen a very important number that you can text to. Please explain to them what they can do with that.
Yeah, so if you text Red Cross to 90999, that'll make a $10 donation to the Red Cross and our disaster services, or they can go to redcross.org, and right on our landing page is a place to donate to help support, or they can reach out to your local chapter. You know, here in Buffalo, we're on the Delaware Avenue, and you can find our location on the website, and you can send checks directly to our chapter or make a phone call, and we'll be there to support.
Is that also where they sign up to volunteer?
They can sign up to volunteer. We are currently training up some of our current volunteers into different roles and responsibilities so that they can deploy. But then any new volunteer that wants to come in, we're going to be here for months. This isn't like a couple weeks. You know, we were anticipating 2 to 4 months, depending on the severity of the storm. It's a pretty severe storm. We're probably looking to that 4-month, if not longer, time frame in terms of sheltering and support.
All right. Well, we have to say thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you.
For all of that information. And we're going to take a quick break, but make sure that you text that number.
Yes.
Keep that number with you, because they might need it multiple times throughout this several months. So thank you again for all this information. Stay with us. You're watching AM Buffalo as you watch more images of Ian in Florida.